Imagine living in a world where by the time you reach your 90s, you're able to keep the same level of strength and mobility that you had when you were younger. Doesn't it sound like it's too wonderful to be true? I speak to you today with vital knowledge that has the potential to significantly influence the quality of life you experience as you get older. It is disturbing to see the figures. Each year, 1 in every 4 persons over the age of 65 suffers a fall, which frequently results in severe injuries and the lost ability to function independently. Now, what if I told you that there is a technique to dramatically lessen the likelihood of this happening? In the struggle against the loss of muscle mass that comes with advancing age, there is a secret weapon that has been hiding in plain sight. Through the entire process, there is a possibility that a single vitamin could be the key to maintaining the strength, stability, and readiness of your legs. Regardless of the number of candles that are hanging on your birthday cake, there is a remarkable connection between a single vital vitamin and the preservation of leg strength in older persons, according to a study that was conducted not too long ago in the scientific community. This discovery is nothing short of revolutionary, and it has the potential to provide hundreds of millions of elderly people who are battling with mobility challenges with a rescue option. There is no possible way to emphasize the significance of this discovery. Imagine being able to keep your independence, continue your daily activities without worry, and escape the devastating repercussions of muscle weakening, all owing to a single simple nutrient. This is what you could be able to do. Everyone who is worried about preserving their strength and mobility as they become older should read this material because it is absolutely and completely essential. I strongly encourage you to not put too little stock in the significance of this discovery. If this information is ignored, there is a possibility that severe consequences will occur, including an increased chance of falling, hospitalization, and a loss of autonomy. Instead, gaining an awareness of this information and putting it into practice could be the key to ensuring that you continue to have a high quality of life for many years to come, even if you are 94 years old. If you do not consume enough of this vital vitamin, your muscles will begin to deteriorate at a faster rate. On the other hand, if you keep your levels in the appropriate range, you will be able to preserve your movement and freedom for a long amount of time. To get things started, what precisely is this vitamin that is considered to be vital, and why is it so important to your comprehensive health? Make sure you look around when it comes to having strong legs. Vitamin D is a mineral that is really necessary. When we get started, I would really appreciate it if you could. I'd tell you where you are coming from today. Leave a remark below, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. In addition, make sure you click the subscribe button and adjust your alert settings so that you are never left out of Senior Health's most helpful health advice. If you are watching this right now, I want to know that you agree with me. Leave a comment with a 1 if you feel that this video resonates with you. In the event that it does not, type 0. When individuals think of vitamin D, they are frequently reminded of the role that it plays in ensuring that their bones remain healthy. However, it is equally important for the strength of the muscles as well as the mobility of the body. It has been demonstrated through research that a deficiency in vitamin D can result in inadequacies in muscle strength, difficulties with balance, and an increased risk of falling. This is a condition that poses a particular risk to individuals who are in their later years. It was demonstrated in a study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society that senior persons who took vitamin D supplements had a rate of falls that was 23% lower than those who did not take these supplements. Researchers have found a correlation between low levels of vitamin D and weaker leg muscles and slower walking rates in older people. In accordance with the findings of an additional study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, if the body does not receive an adequate quantity of vitamin D, it will have difficulties absorbing calcium, which will ultimately lead to a weakening of the bones and muscles. This may hasten the process of sarcopenia, which is the age-related loss of muscle mass that affects nearly half of all people over the age of 80. Sarcopenia is a condition that affects millions of people. To put it another way, vitamin D is necessary for maintaining the power of your legs, preventing falls and maintaining your level of physical activity as you get older. When it comes to the senior population, how widespread is the problem of vitamin D deficiency? A shockingly high percentage of people, particularly those of old age, are affected by this condition. Recent studies have shown that even more than 60% of senior individuals have vitamin D levels that are insufficient. This is an astounding statistic. In a recent article published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, the findings of the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey are highlighted. These data reveal that older individuals who have a low vitamin D level are twice as likely to suffer from catastrophic falls and fractures. Vitamin D supplementation was shown to be associated with a 22% reduction in the risk of hip fractures among women over the age of 80. According to a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, in order to guarantee that they receive adequate care, senior citizens are required to take additional precautions. Since the body's capacity to make vitamin D from sunlight decreases with age, the amount of vitamin D produced by the body also declines. There are some signs that you might be deficient in vitamin D supplementation. The importance of vitamin D cannot be overstated when it comes to the preservation of healthy bones, muscles, and immune systems. On the other hand, a sizable population suffers from a deficiency in this vital vitamin, which leads to a variety of visible health issues. Some of the most common symptoms that may indicate a deficiency are going to be discussed in the following paragraphs. There is a significant signal that a lack of vitamin D is present, and that is the weakening of the muscles. If you frequently have a sensation of weakness or unsteadiness in your legs, particularly when you are standing or walking, it is conceivable that you are deficient in vitamin D, which is a vital nutrient for good muscular performance. In addition, this may lead to frequent falls due to compromised balance and lost muscle strength, both of which hinder stability. Because vitamin D levels gradually fall with age, older people have lower amounts of vitamin D than younger people do. Discomfort in the bones is another prevalent symptom, notably in the lower back, joints, or legs. There is a possibility that bones will grow weaker and more prone to suffering pain or discomfort if the body does not receive an adequate amount of vitamin D to facilitate calcium absorption throughout the body. Vitamin D is an essential component. A lack of vitamin D, which is necessary for the repair of tissue, may also be the reason for a slow healing process of wounds. Vitamin D is important for the restoration of tissue. It is possible that the healing process will be slowed down, and the risk of infection may be increased when there is an inadequate amount of vitamin D. Additionally, because vitamin D helps govern the contractions of your muscles, you may experience leg cramps or spasms, particularly throughout the night. This is especially true if you are sleeping poorly. A deficiency may cause people to have cramps on a regular basis, which can make it challenging to get a decent night's sleep and can also make it difficult to move around in general. If you experience any of these symptoms, it is absolutely necessary for you to seek the guidance of a medical professional who is equipped to provide assistance. There is a straightforward blood test that can be used to confirm low levels of vitamin D. If necessary, your physician may suggest further action. I suggest that you increase the amount of time that you spend in the sun, make modifications to your diet, or take supplements in order to restore the levels that are suitable. The strategies that are the most efficient for producing additional vitamin D are 1. Increase the amount of sunlight that you are exposed to. It is possible for your body to produce vitamin D on its own when your skin is exposed to sunlight. Nevertheless, as you get older, your skin loses its ability to maintain its beauty. At least 3 to 4 times per week, you should make an effort to spend 20 to 30 minutes outside in direct sunlight. Not only does this raise the likelihood that you may be deficient in vitamin D, but it also increases the likelihood that you will fail to convert sunlight into vitamin D. You will be able to significantly boost the quantity of vitamin D that you obtain from the sun by doing this. The best time for the production of vitamin D is during the middle of the day, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., because this is the time of day when the sun's rays are at their most powerful. If you live in an area that experiences long winters or is frequently covered by clouds, it is possible that you do not get enough exposure to the sun during the course of your lifetime. When something like this takes place, the utilization of a vitamin D lamp may be of assistance in duplicating the effects of natural sunlight and increasing the production of vitamin D. In order to maintain a healthy level of vitamin D in your body, it is vital to rely on dietary sources and supplements when it is impossible to obtain sufficient amounts of sunlight. Additionally, make sure that your diet contains foods that are rich in vitamin D. The consumption of foods that are abundant in vitamin D can assist in enhancing your levels of vitamin D and support your overall health. Despite the fact that food alone might not be able to supply all of the vitamin D that is required, nutritional sources of vitamin D include fatty fish, such as salmon, mackerel, sardines, and tuna, which are all excellent sources of vitamin D. Vitamin D can also be found in a range of other foods. By consuming a meal of salmon that is approximately 3.5 ounces in size and contains approximately 570 international units of vitamin D, one can fulfill the bulk of the daily requirements for vitamin D. Egg yolks are another source of vitamin D. A single yolk contains approximately 40 international units of vitamin D that can be absorbed by the body. An easy and convenient way to increase one's consumption of vitamin D is to consume dairy products, which include milk, yogurt, and cheese. Vitamin D is added to a wide variety of dairy products, including cheese, yogurt, and milk. Furthermore, mushrooms are the only plant-based food that naturally produces vitamin D when exposed to sunlight, making them an excellent choice for vegetarians who are looking for ways to supplement their diet. Vitamin D is not produced by other plant-based diets. A sizable number of senior people may require vitamin D supplements in order to fulfill their daily requirements and maintain the highest possible level of health. This is due to the fact that it may be challenging to obtain an adequate quantity of vitamin D alone through the consumption of food. Third, take a supplement containing vitamin D. Taking vitamin D tablets is frequently the most dependable technique for senior individuals to maintain adequate levels of vitamin D, particularly in circumstances where exposure to sunlight and food consumption are insufficient. In order to determine the necessary daily intake, age is a factor to consider. It is recommended that adults between the ages of 50 and 70 consume 600 international units, IU, on a daily basis, while adults above the age of 70 should consume between 800 and 900 international units, IU, on a daily basis. Vitamin D3, because it is more easily absorbed by the body and has a higher level of efficiency than vitamin D2, is the type of vitamin D supplementation that is considered to be the most beneficial. As a result of the fact that vitamin D is fat-soluble, it is recommended that it be ingested alongside a meal that contains healthy fats in order to get the highest possible level of absorption. Before beginning to utilize any new supplement, it is essential to consult with a healthcare professional about the optimal dosage in order to achieve the best possible outcomes for your individual health needs. Take magnesium in conjunction with vitamin D levels. If you are a dietitian, you are aware that magnesium is essential for the body to activate vitamin D. However, regardless of how much vitamin D you ingest, how much sunlight you get, or how much magnesium you take in, your body will not be able to absorb or utilize it effectively if it does not have sufficient magnesium. Incorporate foods that are high in magnesium into your diet if you wish to stimulate the activation of vitamin D in your body. One of the most abundant sources of this mineral is found in leafy greens like spinach and kale, as well as in nuts and seeds like almonds and pumpkin seeds, and in whole grains like brown rice and oats. Those persons who have difficulties acquiring sufficient magnesium from food alone may discover that taking a magnesium supplement is beneficial to their health. The benefits of magnesium can be maximized by combining it with vitamin D, which can lead to increases in bone health, muscular strength, and overall mobility. Magnesium is a mineral that is found in the body. How much time will pass in the event that you start off with low levels of vitamin D? It may take some time before you see results. This is because it may take some time to restore ideal levels and see noticeable changes in your health. After 2 weeks, the frequency of muscle cramps has decreased, and the amount of energy you have experienced has increased. By the end of 1 month, the legs have become more robust and balance has been enhanced. Bone density has increased and the risk of falling has decreased. By the time the animal is 3 months old, according to a study, taking vitamin D for 3 to 6 months resulted in a decrease in falls by 31%, an increase in muscular strength by 35%, and a reduction in the risk of fractures by 40%. These benefits are seen by senior citizens. Consistency in approach is absolutely necessary. Consuming vitamin D on a daily basis will greatly assist in preserving leg strength for a considerable amount of time to come. The significance of vitamin D cannot be stressed when it comes to the maintenance of mobility, the prevention of falls, and the preservation of independence. Due to the fact that a sizable percentage of older individuals are not receiving adequate care, it is imperative that proactive measures be taken. For today, you are free to do the following. It is recommended that you get your vitamin D levels evaluated on a consistent schedule, several times a week. Spend 20 to 30 minutes basking in the summer sun. It is recommended that you consume foods that are high in vitamin D, such as fatty fish, eggs, and dairy products. If you want to get the most out of your vitamin D3 supplement, take between 800 and 2,000 international units each day. Spend some time in the sun and combine it with magnesium to increase its absorption. This will also help. Are you getting an adequate amount of vitamin D in your diet? Tell us what you think by leaving a comment down below. When looking for additional health information, it is essential to keep in mind to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. At this point, let's wrap up our video by providing a brief summary. Just picture yourself being able to keep your strength and mobility well into your 90s. Does that sound far-fetched? It is not the case. 1 in every 4 persons over the age of 65 experiences a fall each year, which frequently results in severe injuries and the loss of independence. This risk, however, can be mitigated in a straightforward manner with vitamin D. Although the majority of people think of vitamin D in terms of bone health, research has shown that it is also essential for maintaining muscle strength and balance. Because of its absence, the risk of falling is increased, muscles become weaker, and walking pace is slowed down. According to studies, senior citizens who take vitamin D supplements have a 23% lower risk of falling, and those with greater levels of vitamin D have improved mobility and independence. What exactly is the issue? More than 60% of aged persons are inadequate. Over time, our capacity to generate vitamin D from exposure to sunshine decreases, which in turn raises the likelihood that we will sustain fractures, muscle weakness, bone discomfort. Poor wound healing and leg cramping are all symptoms that can potentially indicate a vitamin D deficit. If any of these symptoms are present, a straightforward blood test can confirm that your levels are low. Spend 20 to 30 minutes in the sun on multiple occasions per week in order to keep your vitamin D levels in a healthy range. If you have limited exposure to the sun, it is especially important to consume foods that are rich in vitamin D, such as fatty fish, eggs, and dairy products that have been fortified. A further increase in absorption can be achieved by combining magnesium with vitamin D. Although you won't see results right away, you should start to feel less cramping in your muscles and have more energy within a few weeks. An improvement in balance, a rise in bone density, and a considerable reduction in the risk of falling are all observed within a few months. Your ability to maintain your strength, independence, and mobility for many years to come can be improved by taking control of your vitamin D consumption. Maintain your forward momentum.